Bring in Republican Congressman John Fleming from Louisiana into the discussion now. Congressman, thank you for joining us. Obviously, as all Republicans are, you've been opposed to this bill. Didn't get one iota of support from your party, but now it has become the law of the land. What do you say today?
Well, I say this is a sad day for America. Now that we have 1/6 of the economy that's now fully controlled by Washington,
right,
a place that suspends reality, in which common sense is thrown out the window, I think it's a very sad day.
You know, it's interesting, Congressman, as I say, it's become the law of the land, I should say, about to become the law of the land, as Rich was just explaining to us once it's signed into law by the president. What are the political calculations from here on out for your party? I mean, the conventional wisdom has been, well, this could very well help Republicans in the midterm elections now that Democrats are being held responsible for this. And some others say, no, you know what, because people will feel the benefits of this in the short term, whereas they won't have to pay for the costs, the tax increases, until further out. Maybe it'll help the Democrats. How are you looking at the midterms now?
Yeah, I think our calculus all along has been that passage of this health care government takeover is going to be a dismal failure for the Democrats coming this November.
Right.
To be honest with you, as a physician, I wanted to see this bill die. I would rather the Democrats keep Congress and kill this bill than what happened last night. But having said that, I think the die is cast. I think the Democrats have taken their choice here.
Well, it may be, but the question from your party's point of view is, what do you do about it? I mean, what's next for you guys? Will you run on a process that's, on a campaign that's just based on repealing a law that's gone into place, or physicians like you and others going to put together a new plan and try to add on to this law? I mean, I don't know. What's the next step?
Well, it would be virtually impossible, even if we take back both houses, to repeal this bill until 2012 when we have a Republican president.
Right.
I think what we would do is we would work to improve this, to morph it, and try to get it back to the free market, to actually put something in it that controls cost.
Yeah.
In this 3,000 pages, there's absolutely nothing that controls cost. And then if we can't get it somewhat repaired and get it going in the right direction and get free market forces back in it, Connell, I think in 2012 that's going to be a big topic in the presidential race coming up.
Oh, probably will. Jim and Jerry are here with me. Why don't you guys jump in here?
Representative, I just wanted to ask you, if in fact there's a Republican president and a Republican Congress in 2012, can you repeal it? Will you be able to? And what can you do if in the end of this year if there's a Republican Congress but a Democratic president?
Well, I think that we could begin to nibble around the edges. There's going to be a lot of this that's going to come under litigation, and all we can do is hopefully move this back to a direction we want to see. Remember that we Republicans want reform, but we want common sense reform done piecemeal, striking at the individual problems and not government takeover and government control. One of your guests just a moment ago talked about innovation. When have we ever seen government innovate anything? You're not going to see that. You're going to see more post office style health care. Remember that of these 32 million Americans that are going to be covered, half of them are going to be Medicaid. And today, less than half of doctors even accept Medicaid because they go out of business if they do.
Congressman, I heard you say it's sort of, the beginning of the end, really, talking about your opinion on this. And in some ways, I feel like we've been talking about this for a very long time. And to hear the Republican Party just continue to complain about this, what action, what steps can you take to make changes now?
There's no way we're going to be able to make any changes on the House side until we take Congress back this fall. On the Senate side, there's a lot of points of order that are going to be brought up. Remember, this is a reconciliation bill, and there'll be humps they'll have to get over with 60 votes.
Right.
This reconciliation, even though it takes out some of these kickbacks, it also increases taxes. And remember, there'll be 12 new or increased taxes on the middle class if this reconciliation passes as is. So I think we still have a big battle left to go.
When you look, Congressman, at some of the polling of American voters, sometimes they don't make a lot of distinctions about who's put in policies they don't like. Sometimes they just kick everybody out. Do you worry, is it possible that some of you, of your Republican colleagues, could get blamed for some of this?
I think as long as we do a good job informing our constituents back home, and I work on this all the time, letting them know what I believe and who I stand for, that I stand for life. And as you know, it was the so-called pro-lifers that actually threw in the towel last night in favor of Nancy Pelosi, which is inflaming all of pro-life America, which is really over 50% of Americans. I think all of our constituents know exactly where these bad policies are coming from.
All right, Congressman Fleming, we appreciate your time from Capitol Hill today. Thanks for joining us. Rich Edson as well for the explanation earlier. Thanks to both of you guys. Now, I'm going to get back to Adam Shapiro because we were talking about the ramifications, Adam, for this bill on